Welcome back, and today we are on 16th of September on TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and right now time check is 10:30 p.m. Singapore time, Asia time, and if you are watching from the US, that's exactly 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour right after the opening bell. I want to welcome all of you, brand new as well as our very core existing hardcore fans, the spiking community. Welcome, everybody. I'm really excited to present to you today. And before we get started, I want to turn on the live chat and let's take a look at who's in the house. Welcome back. And if you are watching us right now, you can join us in the live chat and you can contribute your chats on the stream, whether it's a Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. All right. I like to see all of you here live on the live stream. We got important announcement for you guys today. Wow. And I see all the beautiful names coming in right now. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And let me just give some acknowledgement to all, one and all. And let me just do some adjustment on my screen. Wow, this screen is really huge. Okay, so who's live real time with us right now? Hi, Jamie, Jeffrey, and I see Eltin, John, Kinney, Milton, Jeanette, and welcome to all of you. Really happy to see all of you. We had a really long training session yesterday, 5 hours. No. It's about 5 hours and 30 minutes. And I didn't get that kind of a setup, the pace for what we're going to do all the way until the Santa Claus rally. All right. So thank you, all of you, for joining us right here. And every time we do a live stream, my challenge to all of you is go and find the most important article of the day or the most important news of the day that will influence the way you think about the market, so that we dive in really deep to understand and perform our analysis. So, you will go and select your very first piece or the very important piece that you think that will influence the stock price. And right after you do that, I will show you my piece and see whether there's a match. All right. If there's a perfect match, that will be ideal. Then, I will use the phrase great minds think alike. But if there's no match, it doesn't matter. Then it is for all of us to learn, hey, why does teacher selected this piece of news instead of all other pieces of news that to me is important? So then you understand the distinction, all right? So I want to make this live stream really productive for everyone. I want you to acquire wisdom. And likewise for me, every day I'm doing it, I display number one, consistency. And consistency in habits will lead to proactive actions. And proactive actions, most importantly, will lead to very mega big results. And that's what I'm preaching to all of you. All right. So stay tuned. And if you have not subscribed to us yet, please go and click on the notification bell. And each time we go live, we're going to alert you right here on the YouTube. Okay. What is the big news of the day? And to me, I think this is going to shape the entire climate leading to next Wednesday's FOMC interest rate hike announcement. Ready? Here we go. Holy moly, this is really the one that's shaking the market right now, and kind of we have a major spike down on FedEx. And that's because FedEx boss says he expects the economy to enter a worldwide recession. So, when we kind of utter this dirty R word, everybody start to panic. Now, more importantly, it's coming from FedEx because they are the logistical company that connects everybody together. And you got to hear from the man itself. But, I kind of feel that this headline is kind of like a clickbait set out by the editors of CNBC. And you understand why, right? I'm going to help you shape the discourse on why a headline like a worldwide recession will get everybody to read this piece, to watch CNBC. But is there truly an underlying key reason why we should be in a worldwide recession? All right. So, we're going to put on a devil's advocate Don't just accept what the news is telling us. We're going to put on our thinking cap, and then for us to go and tear this piece of news apart and then see for ourselves whether what is the real impact. And at the end of the live stream, I'll fire off a trade. All right. So this is the game plan. Here we go. FedEx boss CEO Raj Subramaniam told CNBC Cramer on Thursday that he believes a recession is impending for the global economy. The CEO's pessimism came after FedEx missed estimate on revenue and earnings in its first quarter. The company also withdrew its full-year guidance. Straight away, the stock price spiked down 22.71%. Now, this is a mama spike down. And I'm going to kind of switch over to the chart right here to begin to understand, help all of us to understand and decipher what is the meaning of this spike down. So I'm going to kind of list out right here. If your eyes are not sharp enough, you wouldn't know where I'm pointing at. I'm pointing right here. This is a mega spike down. How mega? 21.73% in just one day. Yesterday versus today, that is a major spike down. And if you look at the past candles, have you ever seen a spike down with such a big gap? All right, there's one more here, but this spike down is kind of like numerically maybe that's about, let me estimate, all right, 25, 30, about $20 drop here. All right, this back then this was a $20 drop. Today is a $44 drop. 2 times worse than back then. All right, so that's how we interpret, and then we go down and check through any more spike down. No, this is the biggest spike down since the start of the pandemic. And I'm going to kind of, based on this chart, to bring out the key points so that you all really understand, hey, this is not so simple on its own. All right, what do I mean by not so simple on its own? So here we go. I'm going to remove this guy and we're going to start off from here, right? This box right here is the important crossover. Back then, we always use this crossover whereby the candles cross below the 200-day simple moving average line. That is a very important signal, right? I'm going to keep my arrow right there because this is what I'm going to do right now. From the exact point of the crossover, I'm going to draw a horizontal line right across there. And can you see what's happening right here? Holy moly! FedEx has entered exactly, and I want to make it, this line really, I want to make it as parallel as possible, and maybe there's an easy way to do this. All right, let me show you how I'm going to do this. Hang on a minute. I'm going to do another way. I'm going to draw exactly on the gray line, and then I'm going to move it up. All right, so let me draw on the gray line. All right, this is sharp, and then I'm going to move this guy up such that what you see over here is exactly the point. Oops, hang on a minute. I just messed up. One more time. Let me change something, right? Hang on a minute. Right here. At this point right here, that's where the crossover and falling below the 200-day simple moving average line. And right now, the stop price is exactly back to where we started back then. Now, this is bad news. And I need to explain to you 3 big takeaways about this bad news, all right? So follow closely, hang on tight for the ride. And if you are faint-hearted right now, I suggest that you pick up your Chinese hot tea, drink some water first. I need to drink some water first, and let me play you some music. Oh boy, I'm thirsty, man. Today I'm very thirsty. All right. So, step number 1, I'm going to take you through the journey right now. Back then, the market fallen down because of uncertainties about this virus called COVID-19. And back then, it was called the Wuhan virus, coronavirus. And over time, we keep changing the name until today, the latest is the COVID-19. And after it fell through, very quickly kind of rebounded above my horizontal line. You can see that, right? So that kind of shaped the recovery of the pandemic. And we don't really have much issues about supply chain other than fighting the virus. So you can see FedEx was able to perform well in the circumstances, leading to an all-time high back then above $300. And then you can see, starting from the highest peak, it starts to drop. Because that was the era, or that was the period where there's so much concerns about supply chain bottlenecks. All right. And over time, the concerns were allayed, and then it started to move up again, and then it started to drop again, starting from this year, 2022. I'm going to put a square box right there. And once it started to drop, you know what? It has really fallen right below the 200-day simple moving average line, kind of a float over here, try to break above and fell through again. And finally, lo and behold, today we are right here at the spike now. Okay? So, point number one, if you look at February 2020, at the crossover the 200-day simple moving average line, we are back to square one today. Point one. Point number two, do you mean that we have lost all the gains since February 2020 when it went above my red horizontal line, and today you return back to the red horizontal line? Have we lost all the gains due to what? What is the primary reason? Point number two. Because if we don't understand the primary reason for the collapse today, then we cannot understand point number three. What's going to happen from today onwards until next Wednesday, when the Fed chairman Jerome Powell is going to announce the interest rate hikes? Now, this is pretty scary. I bet Jerome Powell is watching the news about FedEx today. Janet Yellen is also watching. President Joe Biden is also watching, because they got to take the grassroots feedback. And who's the grassroots feedback? That is FedEx, who is the leading indicator. I mean, they will know straight away how many parcels to deliver, to collect, to send, and all that. That's pure grassroots feedback, leading indicator. Not the way they have been collecting data for determining the consumer price index. This is straight on grassroots data. So that's the reason why tonight we really need to dive in to understand what the heck happened here for FedEx. Why the CEO is so negative, and is that the reason why CNBC crafted the headline to be a clickbait article? Here we go. We started explaining the 3 points, and we bring back the CEO right here. And let's digest every single thing he said. And before we do that, we're going to play you the video of what he said.
Your next quarter in what I thought you were going to make versus what you're making. Well, it says to me, don't buy back shares.
Well, don't buy back shares. Yeah, we are reviewing all our cost actions right now. We're reducing our capex quite significantly this year. And we think it's allocation of capital. This is a good use of our capital.
But 548 was the estimate for second. You're going to come in at 275.
Well,
I mean that's got to be more than just Asia service.
No, we are seeing that the volume decline in every segment around the world, and so it's just started our second quarter. The weekly numbers are not looking so good. So we just we just assume at this point that the economic conditions are not going to be good, but it basically allows us then to fully go into cost management mode and take those actions that we can then restructure FedEx in a different way.
Raj, are we going to a worldwide recession?
Well, I'm not an economist, but
You heard that. Gene Cramer posed the question, are we going into a worldwide recession? All right, let me backtrack a little bit, because he didn't reply spontaneously with an affirmative yes. One more time, let's play back this part. Here we go.
FedEx in a different way.
Raj, are we going to a worldwide recession?
Well, I'm not an economist, but you know,
No, you know more than economists. Come on, they don't. They just push papers. You actually look at papers.
Well, I think so.
You think we are going to a worldwide recession?
I think so.
I think so. Do you think that is an affirmative yes? I think he has been led by Cramer to say yes. I mean, you know, he was stuttering. I think so. Come on. You are the boss of the largest logistics company out there. And obviously, he had not thought about this question before. I mean, if he had thought about this question, the moment Cramer fire off the question, he will say, yes, I think so. Not the, let me play back again. Something is really wrong with this part, right? Let me play back again. Here we go.
They don't. They just push papers. You actually look at papers.
Well, I think so.
You think we are going to a worldwide recession?
I think so. But you know, again, these numbers don't portend very well.
So I think for a long time, and finally he kind of fallen into the trap to say yes, and not a strong affirmative yes. That's my reading of his body language. That's my reading of his voice, the nuances, and the stuttering of his tongue. It is not a pure affirmative yes. All right. So continue and finish this video, and then we're going to dive really deep and point every single loophole in the article.
U.S. in the last few weeks as bad as China in the last few weeks?
Yeah, the U.S. Consumer has definitely spending less, but the U.S. has been somewhat insulated because the U.S. dollar is the currency of choice for the world, and there's some insulation there. But I do see the U.S. slowing down too.
Done. All right, you have your interpretation. I will have my interpretation. And now I'm going to break this whole interview apart. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. All right. Here we go. He believes a recession is impending for the global economy. And this red box itself, you know that he was stuttering. He was not giving an affirmative yes. And this paragraph here didn't justify how he was behaving. It just said, I think so. No, he was I think so. Right. But and this part he was stuttering as well. No. These numbers, they don't portend very well. So this is not the exact transcript of how Subramaniam said it. All right. And then he kind of fell into the leading question by Cramer, are we going to a worldwide recession? Now, I'm going to show you the part where it is a really big giveaway. Take our time, all right? It's coming very soon. So the next part is the CEO's pessimism came after FedEx missed estimates on revenue and earnings in its first quarter. The company also withdrew its full-year guidance. He has to say something to bloody justify his bad results, all right? So this is exactly what I'm seeing here. As a result, stock price fell 15% in extended trading on Thursday night. I'm very disappointed in the results that we just announced here. And the headline really is the macro situation that we are facing. So you blame it on the macro, fine. And the giveaway is right here, mama. The chief executive who assumed the position earlier this year. This is a new boss. Come on. I don't think he understands the business fully yet. Said that weakening of global shipment volumes drove FedEx disappointing results, while the company anticipated demand to increase after factories shuttered in China due to COVID opened back up. It actually fell, he said. Okay, my contention is that you have a new CEO, took on the leadership role, not really have a full grasp of the market yet. And that's the reason why it's like the first time in his life he's thinking about, are we going to a world recession? And he started at answering that question. So his company did well. Don't bring the world down as well. That's what I'm really uneasy about this article. FedEx does not represent the world. And for the way he conducted himself, I think, you know what? A few things to think about. Number one, what would the Fed or the FOMC committee folks think about this interview? Are they really influenced? Because we are still at a very high inflation rate, 8.3%. And for the Fed, they don't really care which company is doing well or doing badly. All they care about right now is a single-mindedness to bring inflation down to 2%. So if that is true, and so what if FedEx is doing badly, I think next Thursday is all about the range between 75 basis point to 125 basis point. I mean, if we take the average of that, I think we are hitting at about 100 basis point to bring inflation down as the primary priority, all right? So let me see if there's any words said by Subramaniam. And he said over here, week over week that came down, and the chief executive also said that the loss in volume is wide-reaching, and that the company has seen weekly declines since around its investor day in June. We are seeing that volume decline is in every segment around the world, and so we just started out our second quarter. The weekly numbers are not looking good, so we just assume at this point that the economic conditions are not really good. We are a reflection of everybody else's business, especially the high-value economy in the world. So he wants to be like the barometer of the world economy. And I hear him, you heard him, you go and interpret the nuances, all right? And I want to really trace back one important article. And I just found it, all right? This guy, what is his background? He became the boss of FedEx on which day? Here we go. I want to make sure I get the data correct. And let me pull out the correct article. And this is from the press release, all right? Here we go. Raj Subramaniam to become president and CEO of FedEx Corporation on the 28th of March. All right, he took on this job 28th of March. So 9 minus 3, he's only 6 months into the job. Okay, this guy is only 6 months into the job as the CEO. So what else do we know about him? Prior to his role. Okay, so this part here we need to know. What was he doing prior to becoming the CEO? And right here, prior to his role as president and chief operating officer of FedEx. So previously he was COO, right? He was the present CEO of FedEx Express, and that's the world's largest express transportation company, and so on. Chief marketing officer, communication. All right. So I know sufficiently about this, and then I'm going to connect the dots right now. I'm going to come back to the chart here and go back to review what have we done just now. We have done this part to identify the spike down, and he said that the world is entering into a recession. And he's like thinking about this question for the first time, because I think he's also equally shocked that Wall Street sent his stock price plunging. He has to answer to the board of directors why the heck the stock price plunged so much now. And he got only himself to blame because he said that we are going to a world recession. This is all a sentiments game, all right? So this plunge down, I'm thinking of two ideas. The first idea goes this way, and every time I do the YouTube live stream, some of you are very, very new to us. You may not know about this. All of our YouTube live stream is not scripted. It is live on the spot. What you see is what you get. Exactly right now, I'm first time applying my thinking on this article. I don't prepare beforehand. All I make sure is I select the article that I think will be interesting for me to apply my thoughts on it, and derive wisdom out of it. All right. So this is lifeline, not scripted. All right. So coming back here, so I'm going to do two ideas. The first idea is I want to set up a red box such that I know, okay, what's the worst case scenario for FedEx? And I'm going to start from the left-hand side and drag to the right-hand side. And we establish this red box that is between $100 to $150 range. This is always what we need to do to get it right, all right? So we say worst case scenario, at $160 today, it can drop all the way down to $100. Worst case scenario, all right? Because if you talk about recovery of all these businesses out there and how can we be worse than pre-pandemic, which is the big question right now I'm thinking about. What exactly has happened other than we are having a very high price environment, which is called inflation. Energy cost has also kind of a drop from a peak of 130, dropped back to 80. Right now, energy cost has dropped. What other things? Businesses, most of the businesses has already opened up. I've stopped wearing masks already. And I'm still thinking aloud. The only single major factor, perhaps, it is China. All right, I'm thinking a lot about China. I'm also thinking a lot about what other major reasons for FedEx to lose so much business on the logistics side of things. I know transportation cost has dropped, and perhaps are there any other signals that we need to know about? So my first takeaway is that I think with the Wall Street analysts pushing the price down, and with the CEO 6 months into the job, perhaps doing his first real interview with CNBC, said the wrong thing about world recession and created a wrong perception. And straight away, they are punished on the stock price. All right. So 160 is, I will attribute to what the heck he just said on CNBC. And if it's so bad, then literally, what other places can we detect that will correlate or triangulate with what Subramaniam has just said? How else can we detect it? Now, of course, we can go and check on DHL, UPS, all related competitors. How are they going to announce their earnings with such a bad earnings from FedEx? And that's something I'm going to apply my mind to go and research further. All right. So, number one, researching on a competitor. Number two, setting up this red box to determine what's the worst case. Can it be worse than February 2020 when the whole world collapsed? That doesn't make sense anymore, right? We have recovered from COVID-19, and maybe the bottom price is $100. Can I take the pain of $100? I say yes, I can take the pain of $100. And point number three, then where is the end game for FedEx? Can it even possible after dropping the red box? Can it kind of start to resurrect and go back to the previous high, maybe hit $300 again? What are the ingredients necessary for $300 to be restored? I'm thinking about opening of China. I'm thinking about opening up of borders as more and more countries get used to the fact that we're going to live with COVID-19, their population get vaccinated, and then, more and more movement of goods will take place. Those are the things I'm thinking about, all right? So clearly today, this session opened up like one whole can of worms. What the heck Subramaniam just said on live TV? We got to drill out and really perform more research. So I'm going to set this up as a trade because I feel that it's overreaction. And I'm going to show you the clue to understand, is there a real overreaction? I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to click on the 5-day chart. And based on the 5-day chart, we're going to come to this part here. Let me try to make it easy for everybody because there's one. Hang on, let me try to do it another way, right? Or maybe I do on the 1-day chart. Hang on. 1-day chart. Is it good enough? Okay, basically what I want to study is this behavior, right? So let me show you. Here we go. I want to study the intraday behavior right now. It has dropped and then move up. Drop to 155, move up to 160. Right now, move sideways at 157. Right? So I'm going to study this pattern. And I want to sleep early tonight. I got church duty tomorrow. Until the closing bell, I want to see how he behaves. This is a very important part to understand whether there's overreaction in the market on FedEx because of him being the first idiot in the world to say that we are entering to a world recession. I can officially call him the first guy in the world to have made this proclamation. And not a strong affirmation, but in a stuttering manner. All right. So I'm going to observe that. And if you would like to know whether I'll be firing off a trade or an options trading on FedEx, you can join us at the Don't Stop Believing trade notification, which I'll show you the QR code later on. Right. So this is my takeaway for today's presentation. Are we truly entering into a world recession? I'm really, really curious, inquisitive. I want to start checking out quite a number of data points, and I hope over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, when I continue the YouTube live stream, I can present to you some more findings. All right. If you'd like to know the answer, please continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch me on Saturday as well on Sunday. Thank you everyone for joining us here tonight, and I look forward to see you again tomorrow. May God bless you. Goodbye, everybody.